Hey man, just giving you a quick call. I just wanted to let you know that you are so close, dude. You're so much closer than you think. A lot of these big goals that we've had and these big aspirations, they're right around the corner for you, dude. So you just cannot give up. So stoked for you to see this. P.S. We bought a Lambo. So keep going, bro. We'll talk soon. Peace.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Bryson. This is the Bryson Everyday Project Podcast. This podcast is a little bit different than other ones out there. Here, I only focus on documentation. I don't focus on quality or being professional or being entertaining. If that sounds like something you're interested in, I'd love for you to stick around and give the show a listen. You can also follow me on Instagram at BRQUSE. Thank you so much. Here's the show. All right, what is going on? It is Friday, November 21st, 10:44 p.m., 2025. I don't really know what to say about today, other than all I did was work on Fitbiz, and that's it, because everything was delivered for Trey, everything has been delivered for Mina. I haven't gotten any messages about anything breaking or things not working or anything like that. For Mina's stuff, not one bit. Matter of fact, I just thought of something that I need to fix with Mina, so I need to write that down before I forget. I didn't create the automations for the Slack notifications to go out when a lead is submitted. So Mina, closer form, Slack, onboarding, Slack. Ta-da. All right, done. Simple. Okay, so yeah, all I did was work on Fitbiz today, and there was no distractions. It was just Fitbiz, and it was such a great day. It was so productive. I got so much done. I made so much progress, and AI is just a beautiful thing. It is so powerful. It's crazy. So got a lot done here. Very exciting stuff. There's a few things that I absolutely need to polish off. I need to make better. But, for it being so fresh, it's fine, because a lot of these things don't matter. For example, I have filters. When you click the filter button, it pops up with these little squares. When you click a square, it removes those types of entries from the table, and you can see everything else but that. So if I click all of them, then obviously there will be nothing left in the table. And these things are cut off, and you can only see half of them sometimes, and it's very annoying. So I don't know. And when you click on the sort feature, it still looks like shit, which is so interesting. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, I worked on the master log today. I came up with this grouping and tag system, which is pretty cool if you ask me. All it is essentially just a way to tag clients with certain tags or whatever you want. There's also a group feature, so you can assign them to a different group, which is just another form of tags. And then there is the attention that each client needs. So there's 4 levels. There's all-star, great, struggling, and needs help. And the needs help is more dire than struggling. Maybe I should change struggling, because when I say that out loud now, struggling and needs help, I think they're the same thing. I don't know. It doesn't matter. See, it's stuff like that. It just doesn't matter. I can fix that. That's a 30-second prompt, or 30-second fix with a prompt. So not a big deal. That, along with, I made the financials tab. I made it nice. So it'll show you the package, contract revenue, cash collected, number of payments, payment amount, payments made, how many payments they have left, payment status, how many payments they have left in the days that they're going to pay it, and the amount that each payment is going to be taken out, or the amount that each payment is the amount due at each payment date, and all of those things are changeable. So if I alters an amount in one of the boxes, it'll fix it in the other amounts, which is actually pretty damn cool. So actually, I need to fix this. Yeah, there you go. It also says if something is paid or not, or if it's a future payment. They can change the dates in which they're expecting. There's notes. there is the sale date, the days since sale, the program length, the days until the end of the program, who closed the sale. And then if I go ahead and click this green button, it says renew extend program, and I make a new program, it will then display both of them in little tabs, and I can see all that. And so can the coach. So simple. And I was going to start working on check-ins, and I'll get there. Not really worried about that, but yeah. Anyway, goddamn, the financials they're coming along very nicely. I would say that they're pretty much done, just because the amount of logic that you can put into one prompt and then send it off to Cursor and then it create everything. I would say from my experience using AI, the bigger the prompts, the shittier the response, because it has to go through a lot and address everything. But it seems like with Cursor, almost the bigger the prompt, it doesn't even matter. And so far, that's been my experience. But we have two tabs with financials. We have just the main status, name, sale date, the package, contract amount, cash collected, and closer in a table. Then we have upcoming payments, which is status, client, package, next payment, payments made, payments remaining, total paid, total contract. And yeah, very simple. Just look at it, you can see. And then I built a whole page for leads, calls, and sales. This is for calls to come in and automatically book from Calendly or whatever, that automatically book into this software, into Fitbiz. So that way the closer can just live in here, and all they have to do is click a certain button of, closed, deposit, rescheduled, not qualified, not interested, fumbled, no-show, canceled, not had yet. And when they click closed, it pops up with all the information that the client, or that the lead that we have of the lead so far, and you can resume filling out the form from that point, which is so sick. That is something that we couldn't do with Notion, and so the fact that we can do that here is awesome. And if you click deposit, it'll say how much was the deposit, anticipated date to sign up, why was the reason that they were not fully closed. If you click on reschedule, it pops up with the date that they rescheduled to, the reason for rescheduling, and any additional notes. If you click on not qualified, not interested, same thing, what's the reason, any notes. If I click on fumbled, what's the reason for the fumble, any notes. If I click on no show, we don't know the reason because they probably just ghosted, so there's no way to know why. Add some notes. If we click on canceled, why did they cancel? Add any notes. And if we click on, that's everything. So the idea is that we have the call, and then whatever the outcome is, we come back to this table, and then we click on whatever the outcome was, and we fill it out. Then these leads get sorted, and everything is exactly how it should be, because then we can track the leads and then ensure that we follow up with them and blah, blah, blah. And rather than trying to overthink everything and try to figure out how to create and make the best looking this or that, I'm just sticking with the absolute basics with this stuff, which is, I think, bare minimum, all this stuff should have a table of some sort. So if I can create those tables and then create a different view maybe with other things, then I think maybe that'll be the best course of action to get these things done sooner than later, because I really do think I can finish a lot of the working product this month, and then work on getting this thing online so other people can use it, make different accounts, and then really do a shitload of tests. And then I think the next course of action after all of that would be to learn GitHub and learn version control and learn how to share the repositories so that other people can work on what I'm working on, so that way Karin can help. Because right now he's doing a lot of stuff with Trey, which is awesome, but I would love help, especially testing and making sure things work the way they need to work. But I guess we will get there. So just clicking on these dates, realize some of them don't work. It's all good. But anyway, yeah, I did all of that. Oh, I also made it so when somebody submits the closer form or whatever, it goes into the master log, which then goes into, I just found a bug. Just like that, found a little bug. Interesting. So they fill out the form, goes into the master log, and because it goes into the master log, it goes into the financial log, and everything syncs. So if I click on the person's name over here, then I can click on financials at the top. I can go to client information. I can see all that and I can edit anything. It's all up to date. I think the word is multi-tenant secure authentication system or something, meaning when I log into my account, I see my stuff, but when Bob Smith logs into his stuff, he only sees his stuff, not mine. When he makes edits, it affects his stuff, not mine. And when I make edits, it affects my stuff, not his. Very straightforward, very common sense shit, but again, I don't know anything about this, but running prompts and stuff was tricky, but we got it. It worked perfectly fine. I try to test certain things out here and there as I go, just to make sure that they work, and everything has worked so far. So yeah, again, rather than trying to worry about making everything perfect, I think one of the biggest, easiest things, or something that I'll need regardless, is the big tables of stuff, just to store stuff and to make it easy to view everything in one shot. If they don't want to do that, that's okay. It's just an option. So I have been writing more prompts to give to this, and the next thing that I was going to tackle was the follow-ups and the check-ins page. And I had a really ambitious idea of creating a form builder within this whole thing itself, and allowing the coach to make a check-in form, and then check-ins can come in here, and those can be automatic. And because they're automatic, I can then create social proof systems where when a client checks in and they give a good response, it will then go into a little square that's nice layout for the coach to then screenshot, which they will then use for social proof reasons. So it's beneficial for the coach. They get all the data and the check-in analytics and all that stuff automatic. And I think that's the more things that I can automate in here, the more valuable this is. The only downside with this is that a coach would have to use this check-in form as for their check. They would have to build a check-in form here, or I would do it for them, doesn't matter. But they'd have to do that here rather than what they're currently doing. I learned that Trainerize just got check-in forms, so this whole time they haven't even had that. So people have been using Typeform and Jotform and Google Sheets and things like that, which means if that's the case, then we could have synced all that info from Google Sheets and those forms to Notion, and it would be no different than making a form builder out here, and then they submit check-ins here, and then whatever. So yeah, I think that is an ambitious goal. I imagine that'll be a frustrating one to try to code, and I say that as if I'm coding it, but I'm not. But I'm sure it'll be frustrating because there's so many moving pieces. It's going to be filled out from somebody else on the web. They don't have to have access to this software. They just need to have access to the form. What kind of authentication is that? Is it a different organization? How do I show, all this stuff? But if I can nail that, then that is one chunk of everything completed with check-ins, or with this whole automation system. But with check-ins and all of that, all the data is automatically calculated, and it's just, you can just do so much with all that information, especially you can make better decisions as far as your clients go, knowing who is checking in on time, who's late, who's missing, who's skipping. And this little cord underneath my table just fell and hit my leg, and all I saw was just a little black speck. Whew. It scared the shit out of me, dude. Anyway, yeah, everything is great. I'm really pumped about how everything is going. Right now, everything is going exactly according to plan. And when things don't, I just run debugging things and prompts to cure the bugs and fix the errors, and everything's fine. So, very cool. One thing that's really cool, actually, is there have been, I don't know, maybe this entire time, a dozen errors that pop up, and they show me what the error is. And I can actually read it and understand what the problem is, and I know where to go to fix it, which is cool. And not all of them, but I would say at least a dozen out of, I don't know, 30, 40. And it's cool because I know exactly what the issue is and I know how to fix it. So I may not know how to code, but I can read and understand the errors that pop up and what it's pointing to and what the error is. I think that's kind of based off of the formulas with Notion. I got a lot of help with that. It's not coding, but the syntax is similar, and knowing where certain punctuation marks go, colon, semicolon, dash, comma, period, where all those go. They're not always the same, but I think it's just picking up on the patterns of how things usually work. Certain spaces, sometimes you can't even click, you can't use tab, you have to space 3 times, whatever. But anyway, I am feeling good about all of this. I'm making very fast progress, and I just can't wait to get this up and running for Mina or Trey ASAP. I mean, there's still so much to do. Well, there's really not that much to do as far as replicating Notion, but as far as setting it up and making it live and getting all that stuff set up, because that's all brand new. I've never done that ever before. That might be tricky. But other than that, I think everything is great. I have to figure out how to set up. There's a lot to do for sure, but I think we'll be all right. Just small things I noticed. The financials log. I'm just sitting here. I'm not doing anything. It just reloaded itself, and it seems like it does that every time that I'm on the page. Why does it do that? I didn't ask it to. Don't need to do that. Not a good user experience when shit just starts going black page and doesn't work. So anyway. I think that's all I have for today. Beauty about all this is that when I update one thing for one person, it updates for everybody. So I don't have to go back and already I've found things that I got to fix that I haven't fixed for Mina that I did fix for Trey. And so I went into Mina's and I fixed it, but also none of this was fixed in my own Notion. So went back into my own Notion and fixed it. And I honestly think I'm mentally almost clocked out of Notion stuff because it has been fun. It's been a great ride. I learned so much. I'm glad I did it that way. Just because of trying to think about the logic of how things are calculated and how things ought to be presented and where things should be on an interface. I mean, I learned a lot for sure, especially within the confines of Notion. But now that I've gone through all that, and now that I have a limitless sandbox opportunity in front of me, I am taking advantage of it full force. So, but yeah, that's all I got. So, thank you guys for listening. I think at the time of this recording, I'm behind on uploads by 2 or 3 episodes, but if you're listening in the future, you wouldn't know any difference. So I don't know if I even need to say this ever again, but I almost feel an obligation because I probably have 5 people that listen to the show regularly after having recorded 763 episodes in a row. Without missing one. I've definitely recorded 800 now, so that's cool. But for those 5 people who are listening, I almost feel I owe an explanation. So anyway, that's the show for real now. Peace. Thanks for listening.